Hey everyone, it's Chris Loud. In this demo video, I'm working with a prompt and exploring how to create depth and cohesion in a limited palette intuitive abstract painting using just 3 colors. Instead of relying on paint straight from the tube, I'm focusing on intentional color mixing to build range, value shifts, and harmony across the surface. So here's the prompt. We've got 20 minutes to paint. The colors are Pyrrole Red, Payne's Gray, and Cadmium Yellow, plus black and white. And the goal is to connect 2 opposite sides of the surface with a subtle bridge of marks or paint. If you would like to warm up with more prompts, I'll leave a link in the description for the 50 abstract warm-up painting prompts download. And before we begin, a big thank you to Steve, Tanya, and Penelope for the recent Super Thanks donations. I truly appreciate it. And for those who've asked, Ko-Fi is just a simple way to support creators directly, kind of like buying someone a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well if you're interested. Before I started the actual painting, I spent a few minutes in my sketchbook mixing combinations of Pyrrole Red, Payne's Gray, Cadmium Yellow, Mars Black, and Titanium White. I wanted to see what would happen if I mix more red into the gray or more yellow into the gray, or all 3 together. What kinds of neutrals showed up? What happens when I add white? Do they go chalky? Do they glow? And that little experiment changed everything because now I'm not guessing on the canvas. I already know kind of what's possible. It's kind of like stretching before a run. It's not mandatory, but it's helpful. When I started the painting, I mixed a green using Payne's Gray and Cadmium Yellow. Payne's Gray in my mind is really a dark blue. So that became the initial layer, and I rolled it out thinly with a brayer to create a soft foundation. That early green actually ended up becoming the bridge, not through marks, but through that subtle band of color connecting across the surface. From there, I began working into the darker areas by mixing Payne's Gray and Pyrrole Red. That gave me these rich, slightly muted darks that felt more complex than just using Payne's Gray straight from the tube. I primarily used flat brushes in different sizes and a palette knife, a brayer, and even baby wipes. I wanted the overall feel to stay softer, less than, having sharp edges and more about blended transitions. The baby wipes helped me lift and soften areas so nothing felt too heavy. And honestly, most of what happened after that was just mixing, adjusting ratios, lightening with white, muting things down, bringing warmth back. That constant mixing is what can help build the depth. And what really created depth wasn't the number of colors, it was the value range. When we mix darker versions, softer midtones, and lighter tints from the same limited palette, we automatically create layers that push and pull against each other. And cohesion, that happened naturally because every mixture came from the same 3 pigments. Nothing felt foreign, nothing felt like it didn't belong. And when we reuse mixtures and echo them across the surface, even subtly, the painting begins to feel unified without us really forcing it. And that's the quiet power of a limited palette. And at the end, I'll show you some close-ups and the final piece in different orientations so we can look at how the structure holds together. So you can see on the palette, I'm really just playing with a variety of mixtures here, a variety of color combinations, adding a lot of white to these, and I'm just getting this kind of gradient of mixed paint on the palette. One color or one paint that I actually didn't use, I have it up at the top in the center, was black. I never felt that I needed to use that black, and I know when you're working, a lot of artists, when they're working on landscapes, they never use black. A lot of artists just don't use black in general. I typically don't when I'm working landscapes, but for abstract and abstract landscapes, I sometimes like to use black. I don't have an issue using it. But in this particular painting, because the Payne's Gray is so dark, I really never felt the need to add it. Although in my mixing study that I did before this, I did add black to some of those and was really able to get some pretty rich colors and tints there. So why limit ourselves to 3 colors? I mean, honestly, because it makes things easier and, a little harder at the same time. When we remove extra choices, we stop chasing new tubes of paint and start paying attention to what's actually happening on the surface. Instead of thinking, what color should I add, we're asking, how can I adjust this? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with adding more color. I find it's beneficial to start with 3 and then add as I need it later. But when you have a palette of primary colors like this, and again, I'm thinking of Payne's gray as a really dark, rich blue. You can mix just about anything. You can mix a whole huge palette of colors. And that's, when we're asking how can I adjust it, how can I adjust this this color, this painting, that's where depth really starts to show up. Depth isn't about having a rainbow on the palette. It's about value shifts. It's about temperature. It's about mixing just enough of that Payne's gray into something to push it back, or just enough yellow into something to bring it forward. In Cohesion, that's almost automatic when everything comes from the same 3 pigments. Even when the colors look different, they're related. They share DNA. That relationship is what keeps a painting from feeling scattered. So working this way can really help build confidence in color mixing. And it also helps sharpen our understanding of value. It reduces decision fatigue. And maybe most importantly, it teaches us that depth doesn't require complexity. It requires attention. When we learn how to get more from less, our paintings start to feel more intentional, even when they're intuitive. So you can see I've got quite a variety on the palette, and I worked a lot of this painting kind of upside down from how I started. At the end, I'll show you what this painting finished like, and I think it actually kind of works in every orientation. But I think when I flip it around here again, that orientation definitely has a landscape, a kind of an abstract landscape feel to it. Right here, the way that it's laid out there. So after the 20 minutes were up, I came back and spent a few more minutes trying to make just a few adjustments. And you'll see I'm putting down a little orange area there. I'll add some green around that. And then I will spend a little bit of time just trying to kind of fix that. I kind of felt like that didn't work. That green almost kind of split that shape in half on the right. And so you'll see me kind of working that a little bit. But one of the things that I noticed on this one was that the kind of lighter teal in the lower left corner, to try and get a little bit more harmony with this painting, I wanted to put a little bit of that on the right side. So I will eventually get some of that over there. Not a lot, but just enough to try and have a little bit more harmony with this whole piece. There are several parts of this that are kind of jumping out and almost competing as a focal point, and I will come in and try and push those back a little bit and soften those up a little bit, so there is not as much competition going on here. So here I am with that yellow and kind of orange mark, just trying to soften that up a little bit so it's not quite as saturated, not quite as not really competing as much with all the other areas. However, I did want that there. That was an accident when it went on the surface. I think when I was using one of the baby wipes, I touched the palette with it and didn't realize that and dragged it onto the surface. But I liked how that looked. But then once I started adding more across the painting, more colors, that red kind of in the almost center, off to the left a little bit, kind of starting at the bridge, I felt like that really was more of the focal point for me. Now, you could look at this and think there's a different focal point, maybe that large kind of yellow and orange shape off to the right. But I definitely wanted to try and have a little bit more harmony across the painting. But you know, this kind of shows you how much variety you have with using these colors. I really only have one little splash of red, a little bit of yellow, and only a tiny bit of the Payne's gray just out of the tube. All these other colors are just mixing. So I show you some close-ups and rotate the piece a bit. One thing I always look for when I rotate a painting is whether it feels balanced. If the value structure is solid, it usually holds up. That's one of the biggest benefits of working with a limited palette. It kind of pushes us to build the color and value structure first, whether that's literally or in our head. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions or feedback, I'd love for you to leave me a comment. Thanks for watching, and keep on painting.